Hello, my peoples, and welcome back to another episode of Intentional Living. This is the podcast where we slow down, tune in, and try to create a life that truly aligns with who we truly are. I'm Ferdinand Lewis. I'll be your host. Thank you for being here. And if you've been following along, you know that we're really on a path to try to create a life that is more intentional, a life that is more aligned with what we really want to get out of this life. On the last episode, we set the foundational work for awareness because if you're not aware, you can't get anywhere in life. That was that discussion. And in this episode, we're going to dive in a little deeper and we're going to talk about forgiveness. Forgiveness, forgiveness, forgiveness. Forgiveness hits everybody a little different. You know, some of us need to forgive ourselves. Some of us need to forgive our parents. Some of us need to forgive a loved one. Some of us need to forgive an ex-husband, ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend, ex-wife, or whatever. And sometimes we really have to let go of that baggage, forgive these people, forgive ourselves to really move on to the next level. You know, and the next level is not more money. The next level, it can be more money, you know, it can be more happiness. But in my world, the next level is the next level of mastery, of peacefulness, of discipline, of doing things we really want to do, of shedding off the bad fat, you know? That's the next level for me. The next level is as long as I wake up the next day, you know, and strive for the better. That's the next level for me. It could be a baby step and it could be a huge step. It could be $2. It could be $2 million. We're making steps over here. All right. And that's what this podcast is about. And this is what these conversations are about. Making sure that we are aligned with our hearts. That's what forgiveness. Just like last week, right? I'm not an expert. I'm not a mentor. I am not a psychologist. We have to go straight to the source to see what forgiveness really means. It's not my version of what forgiveness means. We're going to go to the universal language of what forgiveness means. Forgiveness is the conscious decision to let go of resentment and anger and the desire to get revenge on somebody, whether they did what they did to you was valid or not, right? Regardless whether they deserve it or not. It's not saying what it's not saying what happened was okay, right? The reason we forgive is because we have to let go of these baggages that we are holding on to, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, whether it was 5 years ago or 20 years ago, whether it was yesterday. If it was yesterday, I'll give you a little pass. You could still be a little bit mad. But after 2 days, 3 days, man, you gotta let that shit go, man. Let it go and let it be. Because we gotta move forward. We gotta level up. And subconsciously, you're mad at somebody. Subconsciously, you're mad at your parents for something they didn't do for you. Like, you gotta let it go. First of all, we have to forgive our parents. Our parents are the easiest the people to forgive. Because these motherfuckers didn't know shit. Right? Just like we don't know shit. We thought like our parents knew it all or whatever. But as you get a little older, you realize like, yo, my parents don't know it all. They just, if your parents are good parents, right? They made it seem like they knew what they were doing. But they didn't know shit. They really, really was out here trying to make two and two equal four for you. So, and not every parent is a good parent, you know. Some of us had it bad. Like, my parents were so good to me that I had a friend that used to tell me all the time. Like, he used to come complain to me at the park all the time. Yo, my mom's a bitch, man. My mom's a bitch. My mom's a bitch, man. She pissing me the fuck off. It's a bitch. And I couldn't, in my reality, I'm like, yo, your mom's doing that to you. He'll explain the things that his mom was doing to him. I'm like, yo, are you serious? You know what I'm saying? And I didn't get it at that time. I used to think like, yo, bro, you're tripping. There's no way your mom loves you, bro. Deal with it, deal with it. It's when we got older and he started explaining, he was able to articulate himself more, and I realized, oh, maybe you were right. Maybe your mom was tripping. Maybe she had maybe she was dealing with her own traumas, didn't know how to deal with how to pass it on to the kid. That's why I'm saying not all of us have great parents. Not all of us are fortunate to have great parents. I am. My parents were great and are great. I think I have the best mom in the world. But there's things she has done too that I needed to forgive her and be like, oh, all right, that's my mom. She was wrong. She didn't know what she was doing. It's forgiven. It's forgiven. Right? But for some of us who were not as privileged as I am to have great parents, to have guided us, to have shown us the ropes the right way, if maybe you feel like your parents wasn't there for you enough, you know, sometimes you gotta go back. If it's a conversation, have the conversation, forgive, but you don't have to forget everything. You know what I'm saying? Just forgive, try to see why they did what they did. Sometimes you might find a reason, and like, and laugh at the reason why they did what they were doing, and then that pain and that stress is lifted off your shoulders. You know, sometimes it's an ex. Sometimes you have to forgive that ex for you to propel in your next relationship. Because if you're still holding on to that trauma of what that ex still did to you, you're still thinking about that ex. And how is that fair to your new partner? When you're dealing with like your partner, he's trying to do his best. Him and her are trying to do their best to be present in a relationship, and you sitting there still mad at the last person, the last nigga that did something to you. You know, it doesn't make sense, and that's why forgiveness is key. You have to forgive to elevate. You have to forgive to graduate, because we all trying to graduate to the next level. At one point, we're in middle school. At one point, we're in high school. We have to graduate to next levels, then college, then now we're in life. To master this reality, you need to forgive. You need to shed the fat, because you cannot go up with baggages, with like useless baggages. It's so far you can go before that shit pulls you right back down. You know, and the higher you climb with that baggages, when it climbs you down, the harder you're gonna fall, because you've been climbing up with a lot of baggages. So that's today's episode, man. We have to forgive. We have to forgive, not forget. I'm not saying to forget. Forgive. Forgive your dad, man. Forgive your mom, man. Forgive the ex, man. Forgive your friend that stabbed you in the back. I've had friends that I thought was gonna ride with me forever. Got stabbed in the back. Have to forgive these people, man. Like, you didn't know no better. If you knew better, you would have betrayed this great person. You know? That's how you gotta look at it. Because we're all great in all our ways. Some of us just gotta master different aspects. Forgiveness is really about liberating yourself. You don't want somebody's actions to weigh you down. It's what they did to you to weigh you down. You don't want that person's energy to weigh you down. What you need to do is forgive. Let that person go. Let that hurt go. Process it. Let it go. Everybody been stabbed in the back. We still here. We still breathing. God still got us. Let it go. We got places to go. So liberate yourself. Forgive that person you need to forgive. Forgive yourself if you need to forgive yourself. Because sometimes the person who causes the most pain to you is you. That's me. I cause myself the most pain that anybody else have ever caused me. I'm consistently hurting myself. Sometimes I gotta forgive myself because I didn't know any better. Right? Sometimes you gotta forgive yourself. And once you forgive yourself, you're allowed to make better decisions. Now you see you allow yourself to make better decisions. That really aligns with who you really are. And that's living intentional, baby. You know what I'm saying? We're not here to play around, man. We're here to be real. We're here to live intentional. Live fly if you want to be fly. You know what I'm saying? Go get it. If that's your intention, that's your intention. Go get all the riches if that's your intentions. Go get it. But first, you have to forgive. You have to forgive. Because all those emotional baggages is stressing you down. It's making itself showing up on your face. You know? It's showing up as pimples, as acne. Because we don't want to forgive. Forgive. These people don't deserve, they don't deserve space in our mental, in our subconscious mind. Because sometimes you bury an emotion, you're like, fuck this person. Never dealing with this person again. Like, get them out my face. I don't want them in my life. But in your subconscious mind, they're still there. Because you didn't forgive them. So like the next situation where a similar situation arises, now you're triggered. You're ready to defend yourself and jump out the window because you've been there before. And that person probably wasn't gonna even do you as dirty as the last person, or probably wasn't even gonna do you dirty at all. But since you're so triggered and you didn't forgive the last situation, you're still operating out of fear. I've been there. I'm still there now. I fight that every day. I gotta forgive bitch ass niggas every other day. Cause not everybody's you. Not everybody's gonna operate like you do. So you gotta know, like, forgiveness gotta be your weapon. And I know it's so hard to forgive because like our pain is so validated. Like, this person hurt me so bad. Why should I forgive them? Fuck them forever. Right? But that's not really protection. That's really poisoning us. That's poisoning our mental. That's poisoning our heart. And we can't be truly intentional, pure loving with a negative heart, with an impure heart. You know? Because when you don't forgive, you have hatred in your heart. It might not be hatred to the extreme, but it's still a little hatred. You don't like this person. He's an asshole. You don't like this girl. She did you dirty. You know, we all been there. And it's hard to forgive. It's hard. But we have to do it. We have to forgive. We have to move on with our lives. Sometimes it's hard for us to forgive because we haven't fully processed the pain. Right? This person hurt me so deep. Sometimes you don't want to even go like process the emotion because you feel so betrayed. Right? And all you want is revenge. You want this person to do bad. You want this person to feel exactly how you felt. Right? But living an intentional life is about healing. It's not about punishing. Right? Go live your life, man. You did me dirty. God will deal with you. Karma will deal with you. You know? These other bitch ass niggas out there, they waiting for niggas like you to do you dirty too. You know, dirty niggas love dirty niggas. You know? So forgive. We're gonna heal. We don't need to punish. And that's what it means to live an intentional life because you know love overpowers hate all the time. And for you to get yours, you need all love in your heart. I barely see haters win. So that's why we have to forgive. Haters always hating, always gossiping, always talking about somebody. They rarely win. Even when they winning, they're miserable. Even if you see a hater with a lot of money, they're miserable. Because they don't have love in their hearts. I've seen plenty of rich haters. They're miserable. You know? Because they have hate in their heart. But us, we have forgiveness in our heart. We want to heal. We want to go to the next level. We want to be closer to God. We want to be whoever, you know? We want to be closer to our families. We want to be closer to our friends, closer to our lovers, husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, fiance, our children. We want to be closer to live in harmony. For that, we need forgiveness. When you forgive somebody, you're not letting off the hook. You're letting yourself off the hook of the emotional baggage of having this person in your subconscious. Thinking about this person all the time, giving this person space in your life to exist. That's what forgiveness is. Because that person is dealing with the hurt they caused you too, right? Maybe you're not in their life anymore and they feel it. Maybe you are the only true friend in their lives and they feel it. That's why we have to forgive, to let go of these emotional baggages, to free ourselves, to better ourselves, to level up ourselves. It's not about the other person. It's really about us when we forgive. For, forgiveness is one of the most powerful tools of freedom, right? For me, I was stabbed in the back by a friend so deep, like I thought, like I would never see the light of day ever again. That's how deep it was, right? Like somebody I confided in, like turned around and did a complete 180 on me, and like showed me their true colors, right? And for me to forgive that, I spent days and months. I have plenty of gray hairs just from that one situation alone. Like that's how much betrayal I felt. Like I was so depressed, I lost weight, all of that. Then one day I woke up, I meditated, and then a voice in me was just like, "Fuck this guy, man. You always been great. You always gonna be great. You can make anything happen. Why are you dwelling on this guy that hurt you? Right? Why are you dwelling on this friend that hurt you so much?" And I woke up, I'm like, man, let me forget. Let me start forgetting. And day by day, it was hard, but day by day, I'm like, huh, fuck it. Fuck it. I choose to move forward. Fuck it. I'm gonna make it back. Fuck it. I'm gonna make it back. That was my mentality. And day by day, I'm like, yo, this doesn't even bother me no more. It's not a stress. And like, I started seeing newer opportunities, right? Because I was betrayed on one opportunity, then I was so stuck on that opportunity. So I felt so betrayed that I thought I was never gonna see the light of day. But the minute I started forgiving day by day, step by step, like every time the situation would play back in my head, I'll let it go. You get out my head. Every time that situation would try to replay back in my head, I would take a deep breath and try to make it disappear. Think of something else. Every time. And then over time, a couple weeks, completely forgiving that person. It took me a year or two for me to even speak to that person again. Are we ever gonna be as close? No. Can I kick it, chill, say hi to you when I see you? Yeah. We can laugh. We can tell stories, but we're never gonna be as close again for you to hurt me. And that's what forgiveness is. You need to forgive and not forget, so we can propel up. Intentional living isn't just about what we do. It's about what we are willing to let go, what we are willing to part ways with that's not working for us. That's what intentional living is. And forgiveness is letting go of emotional baggages, of resentment. All those emotions are negative emotions that's weighing us down. And we don't need that. Again, last week we talked about how to practice awareness. This week we're gonna talk about how to practice forgiveness. Right? The first the first rule about forgiveness is acknowledging the pain. Right? We have to come present with the pain to see what is bothering us, why it's bothering. What happened? How did it affect me? How did that person affect you? Right? Even if it's yourself, how did you affect yourself? So you have to identify the pain. So now, right, you have to honor the impact. That's the second step. And you can't skip this step because you have to honor the impact. How did it make you feel? Why did you feel betrayed? What was your relationship with that person? You can't skip that part because you need to know why. Is it why are you betrayed? Why do you need to forgive? You can't skip that one. The third one is deciding to release. It's not saying to forget again. It's deciding to release it step by step. And this step right here could take a few weeks, even a few months. But you have to make the intentional decision to want to let that go, to want to release that emotion. And the fourth one now is you have to create space for healing. That could be journaling. That could be writing a letter to that person and never send it. Or you could send it if you want to. It could be choosing to have a conversation with that person. Maybe that person didn't even know they hurt you, or they know they hurt you, and you need to have that conversation for closure for yourself. If you're strong enough to have that conversation, do it. But you need to do it. But you need to create a space to heal. You have to heal. You have to want to heal. And the last step is to forgive ourselves. You have to forgive yourself because we're in a space where we didn't know what we were doing. We're in a space where we lacked information, you know? Maybe we're in a space where we're vulnerable for people to allow people to take advantage of us. We've all been there. You can't beat yourself up for not knowing what you didn't know. You can't beat yourself up because you were vulnerable that day and somebody took advantage of you. So the last step, forgive ourselves for allowing somebody to take advantage of us. And then forgive the person and forgive the situation. Okay, my peoples, to end it, I know forgiveness is very hard. It's layered and a lot of emotional baggage. It's very hard, I know, but it's also very sacred because forgiveness is one of the most intentional things you can do to live a great life. Because we are gonna get hurt. We are bound to get hurt. People are gonna betray us again. We have to navigate through this life. But we have to know to let go. Can't hold on to everybody that hurt us. today I ask you to ask yourself, what am I ready to release? Who are you ready to forgive? What are you ready to let go? What are you ready to forgive yourself about? Let it go. Free yourself. Liberate yourself. That is the only way we can propel up. That is the only way we can free ourselves and be at peace with ourselves. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. If this episode resonated with you, like, subscribe, share it with somebody, or leave me a comment. Give me some feedbacks. Let me know what you think. Let's grow together. That's what we're here. Thank you for being here. Again, I'm your host, Ferdinand Lewis, and have a great rest of your week.